Good morning. Welcome to training on navigating the IEP process. My name is Danielle Barney, and I am one of the senior administrators in the ESE Policy and Procedures Department. I'd like to begin our training by thanking you for taking the time out of your day to participate. Please be aware that this training is being recorded and will be posted on the ESE website under Parent and Support Training. As a parent, participating in an IEP meeting for your child can be an overwhelming process. Our training today will help deepen your understanding of the IEP process while providing you tools to allow for your meaningful participation. Our goal is for each of you to take something you have learned today and apply it as you participate in future IEP meetings for your child. We will separate our section into 3 parts. Our goal is for parents to learn how to meaningfully participate before, during, and after your child's IEP meeting. We will also have a few minutes after the presentation for you to ask questions related to our topic today using the chat box. As parents, you are the expert on your child and a vital part of the IEP team and decision making. Your role as a parent in an IEP meeting is to share your input regarding your observations, concerns, and goals, both short-term and long-term, for your child. Although an IEP meeting may discuss areas of need, it is important for you to also share and celebrate your child's strengths and successes. Your child's strengths can and should be used as a foundation for the IEP team to build on through the IEP development process. It's also important to note that meaningful participation involves you as an active participant before, during, and after the meeting. We will explore how you can accomplish this goal throughout the IEP process as we explore each section in our training. I would like for you to take a moment to reflect on your child's previous IEP meetings. Please ask yourself the following questions. Did you feel prepared? Did you ask questions and seek clarification when needed? Did you have an aha moment? Your answer and reflection on these questions may give you insight on what, if any, parts of the IEP process you would like to focus on and allow you for the most effective and meaningful participation in your child's IEP meeting. Please take a moment to use the chat box and type yes if you are able to answer yes to all 3 questions. If you are unable to answer yes, please type no. Good morning, Ms. Vasquez. I see you on. Thank you for responding. You answered yes. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on. Thank you for sharing your input, Ms. Vasquez. There are many things you can do as a parent to prepare for an IEP meeting. Preparation is key for your meaningful participation and can make a huge difference during the meeting. Before the IEP meeting, you will have access to many different documents for you to become familiar with to help you understand the IEP process and what the team may be proposing as next steps in addressing your child's needs. One of the documents you will receive is a meeting notice from the school regarding a proposed meeting. The meeting notice will include the important information for you to know regarding the meeting. As a parent, you must review, sign, and return your child's IEP meeting notice to the school. The meeting notice will include the following details. Who is participating in the meeting? The meeting notice will provide you key details of who will be participating and their title. When is the proposed meeting scheduled to occur? The meeting notice will provide you the proposed date of when the school team is proposing to hold the meeting. What is the purpose of the meeting? There may be more than one purpose to a meeting. Although this is not an inclusive list, the team may propose a meeting for an annual review to review progress on IEP goals, review results of an evaluation, determine eligibility, or amend the IEP to revise the current plan. Why? Why is the team proposing a meeting? The why of a meeting will usually correlate with the meeting purpose. At times, the IEP team may be solely meeting at the request of the parent to address your concerns. If you have any questions as to why a meeting is being proposed, you may reach out to the school staffing specialist for more information. Their name and contact information will be included on the meeting notice. Where is the meeting occurring? Is the meeting face-to-face, or is the team proposing to meet virtually? Over the past year, schools have utilized virtual platforms to convene many IEP meetings during the pandemic. Please note that as a parent, your input must be taken into consideration regarding the meeting. Again, if you have any questions regarding where the meeting is occurring, concerns regarding the meeting itself, or the platform being proposed, we encourage you to reach out to the school staffing specialist. At the bottom portion of the meeting notice, you will have the opportunity to propose a new meeting date, indicate if you're planning on inviting someone to participate, and request a translator or interpreter as necessary. The meeting must also be scheduled at least 10 days from the date of the notice in order to provide adequate time for you as a parent to prepare. You will also receive a copy of your procedural safeguards along with the meeting notice. As a parent, you are entitled to information about your rights under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA. These rights or your procedural safeguards are intended to ensure that you have the opportunity to be a partner in the educational decisions made regarding your child. I'd like to take a moment and pause and see if there's any questions regarding what we've reviewed so far. Please use the chat box to type any questions you may have. Okay, we're going to go ahead and keep going. Along with the meeting notice, you will receive the parent input form to complete. This input form will provide you the opportunity to share your input in preparation for the meeting. Areas in the parent input form will ask you to do the following. Describe your child's strengths. Describe your child's successes this year. Think about areas in which your child does well and should not just be limited to academics. This input may include other areas as well, including communication, behavior, independent functioning, or other relevant information. You'll also be asked to describe the concerns you have about your child. It is important that you think about short-term and long-term goals for your child. It is helpful for the IEP team to not only understand immediate concerns, but what concerns you have for your child, including post-secondary living, employment, career, and education. And finally, you'll be asked to include any additional concerns or helpful information or questions you may have. Filling out the parent input form is an important way for you can help prepare for the meeting. Input from you as a parent using this form or other means will be used as part of the IEP development process and assist in setting the agenda for the upcoming meeting. Obtaining parent input prior to the meeting helps IEP teams ensure that the team is able to address all of your concerns and questions. Okay. And I do see a question in the chat box that says, what if I don't feel a part of the team? What should we do as parents? That's a good question. I'm sorry to hear that you feel that you're not a part of the team. If you haven't already addressed the concerns during the meeting or with a staffing specialist, there is district support available to help facilitate the meeting at the local and at the state level. We can also include information at the end of the meeting if for some point you feel that you would like to have district facilitated IEP meetings. We can provide contact information. And we can also provide contact information if you would like to contact the state to request a state-facilitated IEP meeting. That way we can ensure if for some reason you've exhausted all of your opportunities at the local level that you can request a state facilitator to come in and make sure that you are part of the IEP team process. Okay. Next slide, please. No problem, we'll provide it. Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead. Another helpful tip to help you as a parent is to create a binder containing your child's paperwork. This binder can help you organize all the documents you receive regarding your child and create an ongoing record of your child's educational career as they move through the K through 12 continuum. Items you should include in the binder include previous IEPs, report cards, and progress reports, test scores, behavior data, and any other relevant information. You may also want to include work samples to assist you in measuring your child's progress. Next slide. Prior to the meeting, you will receive drafts of any evaluations that have been completed, as well as a draft IEP as appropriate. It is important to note that any drafts you receive are drafts. They are not finalized documents and can be revised as necessary during the IEP meeting. All documents are finalized at the conclusion of the IEP meeting. Evaluation reports contain a lot of information. It may be overwhelming as a parent to hear this information for the first time when the evaluator reviews a report during the meeting. Parents may find it beneficial to read the report and notate any questions they have or points of clarification they may need. This will also help the evaluator in participating in the meeting understand what areas of the report they may need to explain in further detail to assist the parent understanding and with meaningful participation. The draft IEP is also very important to review prior to the meeting. The draft IEP will help parents understand what your child's present level of performance is in each area of need and what the team is recommending to support your child based on this information. Additionally, reviewing the draft helps you as a parent collaborate together with the school team on the IEP development process and addressing areas of need during the meeting. It may also be beneficial to write down your questions, concerns, and highlight any areas of the IEP you want to make sure are reviewed in detail during the meeting. Okay, we're going to go on to during the IEP meeting. As mentioned previously, IEP meetings are a collaborative process between you as a parent and your child's school. You may have a few people participating in the meeting, or there may be many people participating in the meeting. All meeting participants will have an active role through direct knowledge of your child and/or offering their expertise. Remember, IEP teams have the same focus and goal as you as a parent, your child. As a parent, you also have the right to bring anyone of your choice to the meeting. At the beginning of the meeting, the school staffing specialist will state the meeting purpose and introductions will be made. Introductions will not only include participant names and titles, but their role in the meeting. If you don't know who the person is or unsure of their role, please ask for clarification. Here is some additional information on the roles of IEP team members. Norms are often established and agreed upon at the beginning of the meeting and may include remaining child-focused, being open to the views of others, considering all input, and asking questions for clarification. It is also important for IEP team members to review information in the IEP, document and address any parent concerns, and share the information with all stakeholders. Another key role of IEP team members is to assist in the finalizing of conference notes. Conference notes are read aloud at the conclusion of the meeting and should capture a summary of what occurred. IEP team members should provide their input if revisions are needed to provide a more accurate representation of what transpired during the meeting. Here are some general guidance for you as a parent as you help define your own role in the meeting. You are a part of the IEP team. As a parent, your role is to be your child's advocate. Before the age of 14, you attend the meeting on the behalf of your child. It's important you share your feelings, concerns, and goals, both short-term and long-term for your child, and share any input you may have from their perspective. If you feel your child has shared some relevant information with you, whether positive or negative regarding their school, this can be an important piece of information for the IEP team to hear and consider. It is also your role as a parent to collaborate with the school team. Collaboration is defined by the act of working with someone to produce or create something. This can be accomplished by you as a parent in sharing your input and suggestions while also taking into account the recommendations and suggestions of the rest of the IEP team. If all team members, including you as a parent, share their views and input willingly and take into account the perspectives and opinions of others, collaboration will naturally occur in the IEP development process. It's also important for you to share any relevant information with the IEP team that may provide further insight into your child's needs. This may include any therapy they may be receiving outside of school, any private testing or screening, and/or any updated medical information. We have a question. Ms. Vasquez is asking, what happens if meeting notes are not an accurate representation of the meeting? During the meeting, when the meeting notes are being read aloud, the team to discuss what happened. One of the things we can do to ensure that they are an accurate representation is actually chunk the notes, so take it section by section. So we often coach schools that if the meeting notes are lengthy, to stop and pause and reading the notes for the meeting thus far and then continue with the meeting. That certainly can help. If at the end of the meeting and you're reading the notes and you feel like it's not an accurate representation of what happened in the meeting, definitely share your input. If you feel that that was not taken into consideration and you do not believe strongly that what was being shared is an accurate representation, you do have the opportunity to put your concerns in writing and share it from your perspective, and that can be added to your child's file. Any other questions before we go ahead and move on? Yes, it can be. It's not necessarily considered an addendum, but it is part of your child's record. And so whenever we're reviewing information and looking at next steps, all pieces of a student's record are considered. Are there any other questions? Sorry, just a moment. I believe we're getting some additional questions. I believe, Ms. Vasquez, you may be asking, what if your concerns were not addressed? You have a couple options. I mentioned procedural safeguards. You have those in different rights per your procedural safeguards as far as next steps. And if your concerns were not accepted as an addendum and input, there are times where the team will agree to disagree, and again, that's where your procedural safeguards are definitely part of your rights as a parent and give you the opportunity to pursue any other avenues if you really feel like after multiple attempts your concerns were not taken to address. Of course, we always do have district support available to support the student and the parent. So we also want to look at that as well in resources, and you're always welcome to reach out to the school principal if you feel that the IEP team did not address your concerns. No problem. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on. If you have any additional questions, we will continue to monitor the chat box and address them either during the presentation or after. So next, we're going to move on to questions to ask in an IEP meeting. Here are some examples of questions you as a parent can ask during your child's IEP meeting. As I mentioned previously, student strengths are an important thing to discuss during an IEP meeting. Although they are embedded in the present level statement of the IEP, you can facilitate this conversation by asking IEP team members what they see as your child's strengths. As the IEP team develops the IEP, some additional questions that can assist you in your meaningful petition include asking what you can do at home to support your child in their goals. You can also ask for more specific information regarding progress, including how it will be measured and what is the expected rate of progress, how you will be updated regularly regarding your child's progress on their IEP goals. As a reminder, not all conversations about your child occur within an IEP meeting. You can also have informal conversations about your child's general progress during parent conferences and through communication means such as logs, phone calls, emails, etc. Okay. After the meeting, there are many housekeeping items that must be addressed by the team. This includes reading and agreeing upon the conference notes, finalizing the IEP, finalizing and signing all documents, including the meeting participants pages, and providing copies to the parent and IEP team members. All IEP team members should be aware of their role in IEP implementation after the plan has been finalized. The team may also schedule a follow-up meeting if applicable. If there are any proposals or refusals made in the meeting, you will receive a prior written notice within 10 calendar days. The prior written notice is a document that will explicitly describe any proposals or refusals in a meeting, what was considered, why it was proposed or refused, and what data was used to make that determination. And we have another question in the chat box. Ms. Wakendo said we were told that we couldn't talk about IEP concerns during a parent-teacher conference and academic concerns within an IEP meeting. It's going to really depend on how specific. If those academic concerns relate directly to IEP goals, those should occur during an IEP meeting. However, general information regarding progress can be shared. Additionally, if we're talking about interventions that might occur during an MTSS meeting, and again, it could also talk about you could also talk about additional information regarding strategies you might be trying that are not related to the IEP, and that again can occur in a parent-teacher conference. Are there any additional questions? Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on, but again, oh, I'm sorry. Is there an outline for this? The question is there an outline for this so I can advocate for parent-teacher conferences? I'm not really sure what you mean by an outline. However, we are always to guide schools and help them delineate between the difference between a parent-teacher conference and an IEP meeting. There may be circumstances where you may be in process of completing an evaluation, or those two things might be interrelated, and sometimes if schools are in doubt, we do encourage them to have an IEP meeting. It honestly depends on the individual situation and circumstance. But if you have any additional questions, I'm going to provide my contact information at the end of this training, and you're welcome to email me directly and I can help assist with that. You're welcome. All right, so you've had the IEP meeting, and now what? An IEP meeting can be a lot to process. After the meeting, it is important for all team members, including you as the parent, to reflect on the meeting that occurred. Some guiding questions may include, what did I learn about my child during the meeting? What are my child's strengths, area of need, and areas for growth? How can I support my child at home? What can I expect from the school to help me understand my child's progress? If you create a binder or other method to organize your child's paperwork, remember to add the paperwork from the meeting you just participated in. You should refer to the documents often to help your understanding of what your child's goals are, the service and support your child is receiving to accomplish these goals, and how you will be notified of their progress. As a reminder, you can request an IEP meeting at any point should you feel you need to do so. IEP meetings can occur as frequently as appropriate to ensure that your child receives a free, appropriate public education. Okay, now we're going to open to more questions. Again, thank you for taking time out of your day to participate. I hope that you were able to learn something that you can apply in the future in your child's IEP process. At this time, we want to hear more from you. If you have any questions related to today's training that you'd like for me to answer, please feel free to use the chat box to type your questions. So Ms. Vasquez says, what if a child shows no progress in specific areas? It would depend. It depends if it, that's why we would recommend for the IEP team to convene to address the lack of progress. It may result in amending the IEP. It may result in developing a new goal or new area. It may result in additional service or support the child might need to access their content and education. It's going to really depend, but definitely if a child is showing a pattern of no progress, it definitely signals to the IEP team, which includes you, that some type of change needs to be made, either through the problem-solving process or through the IEP team process. The question from Ms. Vasquez is MTSS initiated at that point? It could be, especially if the IEP team felt that they had all the information and have adjusted goals and services to support the student and they're not making adequate progress. It may be addressing it through an MTSS perspective. It would really honestly depend. And remember, the MTSS is a problem-solving process, so that means we need additional information. We need to trial something to see if it's beneficial and supports the student in their area of need. While we're waiting for more questions, I'm going to go ahead and type my contact information in. So if you feel the need to contact me, you have my contact information. That is my email. And I'm also going to type my phone number. Okay, we have another question. How often should I be receiving data, and shouldn't it be easy for me to understand? Absolutely. It's a two-part question. So the first portion is, how often should you be receiving data? It's going to depend. If it's data related to IEP goals, that can be discussed in a meeting. In some cases, it actually is documented as far as how often you will be receiving that. But at any point, you can request that information. It would really depend on the specific student situation. As far as shouldn't it be easy for me to understand? Absolutely. When you're provided data, data should be in a parent-friendly format and easy for you to understand. My recommendation would be if you feel the data is not easily interpreted by you, to definitely share and ask questions, and then we can work with the team actually and help support them if necessary to make sure that the data is easily read by you and interpreted so that you can use that as far as your meaningful participation. Who oversees MTSS compliance? I've always been confused who to contact. That is through the curriculum department. I can, if you would like to email me, I can definitely relay to you the contact information. I also mentioned during this presentation, if you feel as a parent you would like to request a state facilitated IEP and not exhaust that opportunity at the local level, I've also included the information if you would like to request a state facilitated IEP, and the address is in the chat box. Do we have any other questions before we conclude this training? While we're waiting to see if there's any more questions, again, I'd like to thank you for your participation. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You also can reach out again to your school staffing specialist, and they are definitely a good point of contact. And if you have any concerns regarding your child, we definitely encourage you to reach out to the school principal, because they are the ones who oversee the day in, day out of their school, and also oversee the implementation of the IEP. And so we would encourage you to reach out to school principal first if you have any concerns or questions. I see Ms. Vasquez. I'm sorry that you feel that it wasn't fully explanatory. I do appreciate that feedback, and I can certainly reflect and see if in the future there could be an additional information. You're also welcome to email me more information, direct feedback to my email, and I will be happy to consider that. You're welcome. Again, thank you. And again, this information, this training is being recorded and will be posted on our ESE website for you to refer to in the future if you would choose to do so. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.